Hello and welcome to our reflections on Saturday the 27th of February. The readings for this last week have been entitled, or the theme has been entitled, Justice for All. And the daily Bible study that you could find on the Methodist Church website has some notes and reflections on those readings that I've used from time to time, and they've been written this last week on this theme of justice for all by a minister called the Reverend Lenita Conradi, who I had the privilege to meet about 2 years ago at the Methodist Conference. She's from South Africa. She's a minister in South Africa part-time, and also worked as a human rights lawyer in Namibia for part of her time. So she's got an amazing sort of outlook on this whole theme of justice for all, as you can imagine. On top of all that, she's totally blind, so she's quite an amazing lady. Anyway, justice for all. It's not something that we centre on much in our Methodist ways. Certainly not perhaps in my preaching. Perhaps that's something that I've got to come to grips with. But it's certainly a valid part of our calling. It's part of our service in the community to ensure that we protect the rights of all, especially others. And in the news this last 24 hours or so, there's been some really important stories about justice for all. You may have seen some of them. Of course, the most important of all, is the big issue of Hasbro, the toy makers, who've decided as part of their gender justice campaign to rename Mr. Potato Head the former Mr. Potato Head, and everything now goes out just as Potato Head. I'm not sure that that's going to tip the balance in favour of gender equality and inclusion, but I admire the gesture. There are some more important stuff about gender equality and justice that have been in the news as well. Those two princesses in Dubai who wanted to escape the very restrictive regime there. We've heard about the one, and now we're hearing about another who may not even be alive or may be a prisoner. We also have heard that President Biden has raised the human rights issue in a call with the King of Saudi Arabia after the murder of the exiled Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. That was about 2-3 years ago now, wasn't it? All kinds of ways in which we need to make sure that we're thinking of others. We're thinking of the rights of others. There was a fascinating issue yesterday that I saw about a Supreme Court ruling in this country on whether Shamima Begum, that schoolgirl who ran away to join Islamic State, should be allowed to return to the UK because her citizenship was stripped from her. They decided not to. I don't know whether that's right or not. She obviously made a catastrophic mistake. Should she be judged forever and condemned to be nationless now? I don't know. But justice for all, it's a big, big issue, full of complexity. This month of February has been celebrated in society and in the Methodist Church officially as well as LGBT plus History Month. For any who don't know, that stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender and other people for whom their sexual and gender identity is not as straightforward as we might think it is for us. And there's been a whole load of stories and interviews on the Methodist Church website that speak about the need for hearing the voices of those who feel that they are still being unfairly treated and are being denied the same sort of equal rights as other people. So there's been a whole host of cases of equality and inclusivity, of the diversity that enriches our society, and justice for all. That's been the big theme. Thinking of others. Yesterday there was an important story about the Queen, who encouraged all of us to set a good example to those who are reluctant to have the COVID vaccination. She said, think of others. Don't be selfish. It's equality for all, and we need to help one another to understand sometimes what the issues are and how we can benefit from the way in which all of us are encouraged to have fullness of life. So thinking about other people, what about those people that we pass by or that we don't particularly like or that we're a little bit afraid of? Let's think of them, because our readings this week from the book of Isaiah have been about the way in which God gathers all people into his embrace. Think of others. Think more broadly. Live on a bigger map. Widen the horizons. Extend your outlook. Justice for all. God bless.